Last fall, when Tesla announced they were moving their corporate headquarters to Austin, there were all kinds of theories about what this meant for the future of the tech industry. Everybody outside of California was projecting there was going to be a major shift away from the Bay Area's monopoly on the tech sector. But people in California didn't seem too concerned. At the time of the announcement, Tesla was still expanding its assembly plant in Fremont, California, which already employed thousands of people. It was also building a battery factory in the Northern California town of Lathrop, and they were leasing more office space in Palo Alto, where the corporate headquarters had been located since 2009. But then, more and more large tech companies started announcing they were moving to Texas, including HP and Oracle. Maybe there is something going on. Well, stick around for this video, and I'll show you why this Tesla move could be the beginning of a larger trend, and what that could mean for the future of Austin, especially the housing market. First of all, right now, things in California are still looking good. They continue to see a huge growth in tax revenue, thanks in a large part to the high capital gains taxes paid by the super rich in Silicon Valley. And when it comes to California's hold on the tech sector, they continue to be the leader in raising venture capital by a wide margin. But for a while now, California has seen a net out-migration of people to Texas. Now, those population losses have tended to be at the lower end of the socioeconomic scale, and despite this large outflow of people, California has continued to grow richer. What worries some economists and other analysts is this pattern might be starting to change. Stanford's Hoover Institute counted 74 tech companies moving out of California in the first half of last year, which is more than all of 2020 and is higher than the comparable period in each of the previous 2 years. Researchers cited a number of factors, including the rise in the cost of living in California, a tax structure and labor policies which many companies see as unfriendly, and concerns about the quality of life is declining. Now, for the people leaving California, Texas is the top destination. Last year, that net population loss was almost double the pace of the previous decade. Some kept their California jobs thanks to remote work opportunities, but others started new businesses in Texas. Now, on the one hand, the Bay Area has such a deep reservoir of tech talent, money, and infrastructure, not to mention the climate and the ocean, that it won't be knocked off its tech perch anytime soon. First-generation tech companies like Apple, Cisco, and Intel are still in the Bay Area, as are many of the newer tech heavyweights like Facebook, Google, and Netflix. And don't forget, they have Stanford and Berkeley, which have been key generators of talent, research, and new ideas for Silicon Valley. Now, on the other hand, though, California's tech industry today might be facing what Hollywood went through many years ago, when Canada and states like Georgia, where Marvel does most of its shooting nowadays, lured film production away from Los Angeles. Patrick McKenna is the founder of One America Works, which connects talent with new tech companies. He recently said this: Silicon Valley has lost its monopoly on opportunity, and now it has to compete with other locations to attract the talent that's going to build the future. McKenna spent 15 years in the Bay Area as an entrepreneur and investor, but moved to Austin in 2019. He saw opportunities in Central Texas, and he believes that other states are cutting into California's share of the tech industry. Now, economic officials at California Governor Gavin Newsom's office don't see this as a problem. They say it's natural for companies like Tesla to grow and expand outside of California, so they can be closer to markets they serve, supply chains, and extend their global footprint. The state officials also say that businesses will continue to leave California, just as they have for decades. But there are good reasons why companies are incubated and born in California, and why more will come and start new ventures and take companies public. There is no city or state that comes close to the Bay Area in the amount of tech venture capital. Last year it was over $120 billion, and prior to 2018, Silicon Valley's venture capital was more than the rest of the country combined. Now, there has been growth elsewhere, but the Bay Area's share held firm last year, topping 20% as it has every year since at least 2006. That's important because companies tend to start or set up fairly close to where the lead investor is based. The reason that some are concerned, though, is when the established tech giants move out, it creates the risk of losing that next generation of emerging companies. I mean, think about it. There will probably be engineers who leave Tesla to create new companies in Austin, and those will be the companies the Bay Area will miss out on. For now at least, Austin's share of the nation's venture capital, tech startups, and revenue pales next to the Bay Area. But it is rising, thanks in part to Silicon Valley. Meta, formerly known as Facebook, is leasing 33 floors in what soon will be Austin's tallest building downtown. Oracle is estimated to have 2,500 employees currently at its campus near Lady Bird Lake, and they're looking to buy another 9 more acres, which estimated would be enough room for over 10,000 employees. Now, it was back in 2020, right in the middle of the pandemic, when Oracle announced the headquarters move. They also said that they would be taking a modern approach that would give their employees more flexibility to choose where and how to work. No one really knows how many from Tesla have already moved to Austin with Musk, but in his typical flamboyant style, he says that Texas operations could scale up to 20,000 employees. Now, it's also reported that the Austin area factory has the potential to produce 3 times as many vehicles as the Fremont facility. Over the next 18 to 24 months, Tesla is planning to move the R&D and design operations from Palo Alto to Austin. They can find engineers in Austin 50% cheaper, and a move like that would bring the company's brain trust close to where Musk already lives. Plus, many of the employees would probably prefer it that way because they'll be able to enjoy a higher standard of living in Texas. This is partly why Rivian, Tesla's Irvine-based rival, is producing its vehicles in northern Illinois and outside Atlanta. Intel is building a new chip factory in Columbus, Ohio, and other tech firms are going to Nashville. As these types of moves continue to happen, there will be consequences for California. They have grown dependent on the tax dollars from the tech IPOs and the super wealthy to pay for their progressive but expensive environmental and social policies. In 2019, the top 1% of taxpayers in California paid 45% of the personal income taxes, which makes up about 2/3 of the state's general fund revenues. Joe Kotkin of Chapman University, a longtime analyst of demographic, social, and economic trends in California, put it this way: if we continue this gusher of tech money, we could continue to subsidize the vast majority of the population, and maybe we won't collapse. But what happens when that big pile of money gets diverted to other cities? Well, here in Austin, it might be a good idea to take a look at all the good and the bad that has happened in the Bay Area during their boom, because all of that could be on the horizon for us, unless we do things differently. Right now, the median home in the Bay Area is $1.2 million, which is more than double the cost here in Austin. From 2010 to 2020, the Austin Metro has seen the median home price double, and in just the last 2 years, it doubled again. Now, the property tax rate in Texas might slow it down a little bit, but there are a lot of Californians moving here who will have more and more impact on future tax policies and legislation. My opinion, if you're thinking about buying a house in the Austin area, it's probably in your best interest to do it sooner rather than later. If you like this video, you should check out this other one that I did. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell. All of my contact information is in the video description, so don't be shy. Let's make your real estate dreams come true.